And the Mongolian appealing against Satpal, who has kept his head pretty tucked under his shoulders, and the referee telling Satpal to pick it up, and the Mongolian switching around, pulling Satpal onto the mat, but they had reached the edge of the mat by then. Score is still 0-0. The second minute of the first round. Satpal executing a pull-by. No points awarded to either of them, and that is the passive, which was a long way coming. It took a long time coming. Both the wrestlers doing a reasonable amount of very slow wrestling, but it is Disarent Octov who gets the second caution first. So Disarent going into the referee position. Satpal switching to a hold round the waist. He tried to prise him off the ground, bodily wrench him off, and Disarent Octov trying to break that hold, and has also spread out his legs in a very stable position. Goes down on one knee. He did manage to break Satpal's hold just then, but Satpal switches tactics, decides to put all his weight onto Disarent's back. So Disarent has gone down onto the mat, but has not yet conceded a point. Very good defensive work by Disarent Octov in the finals of the 100 kilogram category. Satpal definitely not having an easy time in the first round. A bit of slapping we saw there. Less than 10 seconds to go for the end of the first round. Satpal Singh of India against Disarent Octov of Mongolia. And that is the end of the first round. The score reading 0-0. 2 cautions having been awarded against the wrestler from Mongolia. And we are in the second round with the score in the first round having been 0-0. Satpal Singh fainting to the top. He will perhaps try and go down towards the legs, but he's been effectively blocked for the time being by Disarent. Time and again we saw the referee trying to break off those foul finger throws and figure holds, and here is Satpal putting his head into his opponent's chest and pulling his opponent towards him, but he cannot really overbalance Disarent, who moves along with him very neatly. Satpal has again got his head tucked in very low. There's nothing Disarent can do about it, so Disarent slightly on the defensive right now, as Satpal has got his body weight well into Disarent Octov, and Disarent is the one who's getting pushed towards the edge of the mat. He's trying to block Satpal's advancing leg, decides to switch around to a bear hug instead. Disarent Octov and Satpal has just gone into the lead. He's been awarded a point, and in the viewers gallery was the Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, today to see Satpal in action. And in the second minute of the second round, Satpal still leading very slightly on points. And Disarent attacking now. And a beautiful pull by Satpal. He gets Disarent Octov on the mat. He's pushing Disarent onto the mat. Disarent Octov switches around in the very last minute. A pin narrowly avoided. And Satpal gets another point for that. So Satpal is leading. And the home crowd is jubilant. This is what they have been waiting for 5 days. A capacity of 18,000 people coming on all the 5 days of this tournament to see a gold medal to India. And here is Satpal Singh tying up the leg of his opponent. We're in the second minute of the second round. Satpal Singh in the lead, leading on points. So less than 60 seconds away from an Indian gold. And the Mongolian trying to execute an arm lever gets blocked by Satpal, so the Mongolian has to do something desperate now. He's not very far behind on points, and here he is with one leg in the air. It's taken for a single leg ride. And again we saw him twisting around in the air. So another point to Satpal. He has still not been able to get his opponents back onto the mat. Satpal Singh of India leading on points. 3-0 is the score. And the Mongolian trying to do a flying pin. Neatly sidestepped. And a caution against Satpal of India for passive work. So this is what we saw yesterday also. Satpal first goes into a slight lead and then decides to play passive. Well, he can afford to take his time as there are less than 15 seconds left. Less than 15 seconds between an Indian goal. The score now reading 4-0 in favour of Satpal Singh of India. Less than 10 seconds to go as Satpal Singh of India in a very firm defensive position. Less than 5 seconds to go from the Indian goal. Satpal Singh of India against dissonant Octo of Mongolia. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's the end. So that is the Indian gold, and Satpal is absolutely jubilant in the final of the 100-kilogram category. The first gold medal to India in the wrestling event of the 9th Asian Games is brought by Satpal Singh of India.
विजेंदर कंजावला और नीली कॉस्ट्यूम के अंदर महेश अली।